Hey everyone, this is Aviator with Aviator Games, and today I bring you a new Gdevelop 5 tutorial. So in this series, I'm going to teach you how to make a top-down RPG and show you things like how to import game assets, make layers, player controls, make a GUI, or graphical user interface, import and use sounds, basic AI, shops, inventory system, a dialogue system, make quests, and basic combat. So if you haven't looked at any of my other tutorials, I encourage you to go ahead and check it out, so you kind of are familiar with what we're doing here. But if you're ready, let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's start by create a new project. Let's go ahead and choose where we want the folder, or where we want to save the project. I already have the folder created, so I'm going to save it right here. So you select the folder, create an empty, and let's go ahead and set this bad boy up. First, let's go ahead and do this, create a new scene, and we're going to rename it. Instead of game, let's say game world. Go ahead and game settings, the properties, RPG tutorial. I'm gonna leave the game window width and height the same. Aviator game for the author. And for the version, since it's just starting out, 0.01. And if you want to export your game to iOS or Android, this is going to be important. And this is how I do it. I put my game or my company name right here, and then my game name. So RPG tutorial, and everything else is fine. Press apply. So we got our scene. Let's double click on it. Zoom out. Alright, and then let's go up here to the layers. So by default, it creates this base layer, and so I'm going to use that for my grass layer. So let's go ahead and make a couple custom layers. So this top one is going to be our topmost layer. That'll be the GUI, and then this one will be player. Actually, one more. Let's say water. Move that down here. So if you're not familiar on the layers or how it works, the way it works is it's pretty simple. So whatever you put on this layer, if you put something else, like say on, let's say this is the GUI. Let's say you put stuff on this GUI layer, it's going to be drawn over, or it's going to be drawn first, so over everything else. So if you have, like I said, the ground, and you put your water object on top, on this layer right here, it's going to be drawn before over this one, and same thing for the player. So you're walking on the ground, then all of a sudden you hit the water, he's going to be drawn over the water and the base layer. And so, like I said, it's very basic. Okay, and then let's make a group. Let's go ahead and call it obstacles. I'm just go OBS right now. So apply. Oops. Yep, we got it. Okay. Alright, we got that for now. And then now I'm going to show you how to import custom objects. So you click the little plus right here, or this little area. We want a sprite. Let's start with the player. And for the naming, make sure you don't use a space. If say you wanted to do it like this, player 1, if you press apply, it's going to throw an error. This name contains forbidden characters. Please only use alphanumeric characters. So what you want to do is, instead of doing it like this, do it like this. Player one, or like this, or like this, player one, um, and then you'll be fine. So this will be player. You click the plus symbol right here. Then you go over here to this little box, press plus again, and then navigate to wherever you have your sprites, your game assets. Now, what I should have done, I should have just dumped all my game assets into this folder, the root folder right here. Would have been a lot quicker, but now I have to navigate to another folder to go and add those objects. So we want player. It gets very tedious real quick. Actually, it's a night. So I'm pressing K, and it jumped to the first asset that starts with the K. You can either double click or just click it once and then press open. And then I got that. I got him. And to place that object into the game, you just click the player one time and then anywhere in the scene. And there you go. Now let's go ahead and do it again. You press the plus, sprite. Let's get a sheep. Press the plus right here, plus again. Navigate to wherever your game assets are. RPG tutorial. Press S. There he is, the sheep. Press apply. Click on the sheep, and there we go. Let me add a couple more. Let's do grass 0. Add, oops. Edit, hit the wrong one. Plus G grass 0. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Now, I wanna go ahead and make this a little bit easier on myself. So let's go ahead and turn on the grids. So let's show grid. Now, as you can see, the grid squares are a little bit bigger than what I have here. And all my game objects for this game is going to be 16 by 16. So let's go ahead and set that up. So you go back up here to where it says toggle/edit grid, set up grid. 16 by 16, press apply, and then let's move it around, and as you can see, it's snapping into the individual grid. So we now know how to import custom game assets and then place them in the game world. So another way you can, if something's already in here, you can just go ahead and left click and press Control C, and then make sure you be mindful of where your mouse is, because the paste system is kind of messed up. So watch where, see where my mouse is, and watch where my grass tile is going to be pasted. See, it's way up here. So that kind of sucks, but you deal with it. So let's do the multiple select, copy, paste. Copy, paste, copy these ones and paste. And now, as you can see, when I pasted this, now it's under here. So that's why I said be mindful of where your mouse is and keep it away from other things as you paste it, unless you don't care. Alright, so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I have a little bit more space to work with. I copy, Control V to paste. There we go. Control V. Select it. Okay, now before I go further with the pasting, let's look at the properties. So, like I said, the grass tiles, I want that on the very first layer, base. Okay, so right now it is on the base layer, but these two I don't want on this layer. As you can see, since I pasted these first and they're all on the base layer, this is going to be, these are going to be on top of your player and the animal. We don't want that. So I can change the Z order right here if it's on the same layer, or since we created our layers, we have the player layer right here. Let's go ahead and place them on their own layer. So actually, let's make one more layer, call this animals. Okay, and move it below the player. So let's start with the player. We have him left selected. Then we go to the properties. If the properties panel is not open, if you come up here and you click this little button right here. Now when you click this button, it's going to pop over here. So if you want to bring it back over here, you click right here at on top of the properties bar, and as you can see, it can snap up here, snap down here, but where we want to snap it over here, and then just go ahead and resize it. So after you left click on the object you want, and then you go to the layer section, and as you can see, he is on the base layer. The player, his X and Y coordinates, his angle, you can lock his position, the Z order, and then the custom, his custom size, where you can, his scaling. So we want him on the player. So you click on the arrow, and then you hit player, and now he's on the player layer. Okay, then we do the same thing for the sheep. We put him on the animals layer. Okay, and for now, let's go ahead and drag them up here. So instead of clicking on the sheep to make multiple sheep from over here, you'll have to do the same thing. You'll click on them, add them right there, and then you'll have to change his layer. So to make it faster, just do it. Just copy whatever objects up here. So it'll already have the correct layer and the custom size if you resize them, and then that'll be it. All right. So now let's do. Oops. Come down here. Do that. Do a couple more. I'm just going to do the middle. Actually, you know what? Delete him. Copy here. Make things quicker. Copy. Zoom out. Come down here. Boom. Okay, let's go back to layers. Okay, I got the water layer. All right, let's import the first water sprite. Sprite water 0 plus RPG tutorial W water 0. Apply, and same thing, click out here, left click, change the layer to water. Now if I drag, it's going to be above the grass layer. Okay, so let's copy. Actually, let's zoom in first. Copy. Copy again. Oh, that's another thing too. If you want to select all four, or let's say you want to select just these two, you have to come up here above these squares. So you have to drag it out, go, I say like halfway, and it'll just select these two. If if it's grouped with other things. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. Copy. Okay, so let's say I just want to copy just these three. I drag. I want just these three. So if I want these three, I have to come up to this next row. And now I got those 3 rows. All right. Let's zoom out and move this, put that in the center. And there we go. Now we got our start. So what I like to do is, if let's say this is one town, and you have a little exit point over here or over here, and so your player will come over here, and then that will switch to the next town or another scene. So instead of having to do all this over, you start with like your most basic stuff. What are most of your scenes are going to have in common? So let's say not all of them are going to have a little water, a lake or something like that, and just going to have grass and trees or something like that. So you place all those in there first, and then you save that scene. Well, that's another important thing. Make sure you frequently save, because this does act up from time to time. So you save that scene, and then you duplicate that scene. So you would just go game world. You can right click or press these little dots, copy, and then right click again and paste. And so boom, there you go. That will save you so much time, but make sure you rename it too. You rename both of these. But that's if you just wanna, if you want to have small towns or small little worlds, and you go to different ones. So, but in my case, I love to give the players a, a vast open world. So you can go back to game world, and so this is what the player is going to see right here. You can change that by going to properties and game windows width and height. So let's say you want to make this area all this the world. You can. You just work on those areas, and then you set the camera to follow the player, and so as he's walking along, and the camera's going to scroll with him, and you'll be able to come out here, go over there, wherever you want to do. But for right now, we're just going to make just this game world, this area right here, and that's it. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to fast forward, and I'm going to go ahead and complete this scene, and I'll see you in a sec. All right, as you can see, I have completed this scene. I populated it with different things. Okay, we start over here. I have my 2 different houses, and I forgot to create the door for this. This is going to be the store. And we got some bushes, we got some NPCs, enemy and friendly. And you got the skeleton with the hatchet, with and without. We got some sheeps, and whatever this little scorpion fang thing is. Move around. Okay. And so we got, like I said, some sheep, some cats, little treasure chests that we can open eventually. Wizard, path, the water, the little water edges. Then in this area, this is the cave. We got the cave wall, the cave floors, and then we have the loot, or the coins that you want to pick up. And then we have this green swamp thing, whatever, and he's guarding this the sword and the stone. So, and also we got the little signpost. But that's pretty much it for the setup. So the next thing we're going to do, we'll add the player controller. or player, yeah, the player control, and here he is right here. I want to actually edit him a bit because I don't want him. Well, yeah, just leave him like that. So yeah, he's fine. So we'll get him moving. We'll get these sheep and the cats kind of roaming around. Um, and what else? Probably do the same thing for some of these uh, these enemy NPCs. So, but so far I hope you guys like what you see, and I'll see you in the next video.